Okay, so I am going to call this meeting to order, and Emma, can you please do the roll call?
Yes. Director Daniels,
I'm here.
Vice President LeHue,
Here.
Director Jaffe is absent, Director Christensen,
Here.
and President Lather.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to go to closed session, but first we will have you speak on this item. Is there anyone interested in speaking on this item?
Ms. Steinbruner is not attending the meeting yet.
Okay. And there's no other raised hands, so we will go to closed session and we will return at 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Naturally, it's your discretion whether you want to wait or go.
Well, I guess we could get started. I'm sure Director Daniels is coming. It's 7:01.
President Lather, if you'd like, we could do the report out at least and just see if that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So let's do the report out from the closed session.
So we do have reportable action on item 1.3. The board rejected a claim received from Gregory Shashenko. The vote was 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we will be, oh shoot, I need 3 screens in my world. So next item is
Number 3.
board members' opportunity to remove items from the consent agenda.
I just have a kind of a note to make about the consent agenda item. It's not really to remove it. It's just that I wondered if we might have to repeat the resolution authorizing virtual public meetings at the next meeting too, on the 21st of December, just for planning, because we don't have a meeting in early January and it would be beyond the 30 days from now. So maybe Josh can clarify, but is that true, Josh?
That's correct, Director LeHue.
Okay.
It will be on the next meeting as well.
Okay, great. I just wanted to.
And you'll be president, so.
Well, but great. But I just wanted to make sure that, got on there. That's all. I don't have any to remove.
Anybody else?
No. None for me.
Okay. Oh, yay, snuck in on us. Okay, so we will go to.
Wait, I'll move approval of the consent agenda.
Don't we have to have public comment first?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You're right.
I know, I did that last week. Okay, so our last meeting, do we have public comment on the consent agenda?
We received 1 request to speak.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Steinbruner, your mic is available.
Hello, this is Becky Steinbruner. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening to you. I would like to speak on item 4.5, the inventory of surplus property. Again, I note that you have a lot of acreage in the Glenwood area for the Glenwood Reservoir site, and it is not exempt, it says, which I assume is not exempt from property tax. Maybe staff can clarify that. Most other properties are exempt. But I'm wondering why the district is hanging on to this land when you could sell it and bring in some money to help offset the costs of repairs that you need, capital improvements, things like that. I have never understood why the board continues to hang on to this piece of property when it could be, it is surplus property and you could sell it and bring in some money. I also want to speak to item 4.7, the employee salary schedules. I see that there is a 3.8% cost of living increase, and I see in the staff report that it is in accordance with the San Francisco Area Consumers Price Index from October to October.
30 seconds.
Thank you. But I want to point out to you that a 3.8% increase in a lower paid employee salary is much less money than it is for, say, the general manager, which is one of the highest paid. And I think that the board should consider that, perhaps reducing the amount of cost of living for the more higher paid employees. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're on mute, President Lather. If any other public
Are
members.
there any other public, if anybody else wants to speak on this item, please raise your hand. And seeing none, I am going to move back to the consent agenda, and I think Director LaHue would like to say something.
I just wanted to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Emma, please do the roll call.
Director Daniels,
Yes.
Vice President LaHue,
Yes.
Director Jaffe,
Yes.
Director Christensen,
Yes.
and President Lather.
Yes. So now we can move to oral and written communications. This is an opportunity for the public to comment for up to 3 minutes on an item that's not on the agenda. Do we have anyone interested in speaking?
Yes, we received one request to speak.
Ms. Steinbruner, your mic is available.
Hello, this is Becky Steinbruner. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. I would like to point out and question why none of my written correspondence that I have sent to the district is included in your correspondence regarding the 123 TCP treatment project proposal on Baltrazol. I also wrote Mr. Wilson, as did Mr. Hibble, about this project. Mr. Hibble's correspondence is included and actually responded to, but mine is not. And I'm wondering why that is. I did write to the board and to Mr. Wilson on November 22nd. I'm checking my emails now. So why is my correspondence not included? I would also like to point out to your board, likely you know about it already, but the city of Santa Cruz is now preparing to close its water rights project EIR with final comments and final project. It will be coming before the city council. It may even be coming before them tonight. And I just want to applaud them for taking this action, because it will allow them to sell the district water from the San Lorenzo River when there is enough to sell. I think that this is a great step forward for a regional management approach of our water supply, and I'm very grateful for the city of Santa Cruz taking this approach. And it also is entwined with their habitat conservation plan, which was also approved by the state. I also want to bring to your attention the Central Coast Water Quality Control Board's meeting coming up the 10th. And they will be analyzing and approving the triennial groundwater water basin plan. In it, there are many references to streams that recharge the groundwater and managed
30
watersheds. Thank you. And I urge you all to look at that document. It's a very comprehensive one and talks also about levels of turbidity that would be allowed to be used for monitoring and discretionary sales of water and treatment. So again, that is the triennial status review report of the Central Coast Groundwater Basin and Surface Water Basin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that is interested in speaking? If anyone that is an attendee wants to speak, they can raise their hand.
And if you're on the phone, you can press *9.
Thank you. I don't see anybody with their hand up, so we will go to panelists. And I saw a hand come and go there, but we could just go through the list, or I can screw you all up and just do my own thing. Do anybody want to speak on this item? Okay, see no one.
So this is where we have
Oral and written communications.
from the board.
Anybody?
Yeah, I have something.
Okay.
So I don't think you'll be able to see this, or maybe you will. It's kind of weird what Zoom does.
Oh, no,
Anyway.
it disappears.
Yeah, here we go.
There you go. Mhm.
So the Chronicle from November 24th. There's front page. The San Francisco is asking their water users to cut 5% because of the situation with the drought. And their goal is 10% reduction. And so the way they're achieving that is their customers are reducing 5%, but then they actually sell water to agencies as well. And they're cutting their sales by 14%. And then it's interesting, they're actually putting a surcharge, a temporary surcharge of 5% on the bills to make up for the revenue loss from reduced water use. So we're not in this situation alone. And I think it's good to know what other agencies are doing to get through it. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Me.
okay.
Um,
Carla?
I just wanted to add too, most recently, the governor of California has now talked about reimposing the drought restrictions, the water efficiency restrictions statewide that were imposed during the last 5-year drought that ended, 2016. They want to reimpose those very same water restrictions or efficiency, the no car washing. There's going to be it's the same list, but they had relaxed that for a few years. So it's moving along. You know, the situation in California. I know. I think someone pointed out that it's going to be raining all next week, but honestly, it's so unpredictable right now. We're not having a predictable rainy season, and the governor is paying attention on that one. So that's all.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so that does not require a vote of any sort, so we will move on. There's no reports. And so we can go to administrative business. There's a will serve. Taj, are you presenting?
Yes, I am. Good evening. It's a very short memo, but it's a relatively large project. I think we might have the applicant on the line. And if there are any questions related to this, feel free to call upon the applicant. This is for an 89 room senior group housing with a kitchen and dining area. And we've seen various proposed projects at this location in the past. This is at 5630 Soquel Drive, which is currently a church location. And the applicant has complied with our process and provided a 10% water demand offset deposit. And our staff has projected that the projected use would be 8.71 acre feet after existing credit of a little less than 1 acre foot would be applied. So the infrastructure improvements are not yet determined at this time, but it's likely they'll need, a fire service and an upgraded meter size, but we're not to that point. That's somewhat comes at a later date. This is a conditional will serve application.
Okay, so do we have any public requests to comment?
Yes, we have one.
Okay,
Ms. Steinbruner, your mic is available.
Hello, this is Becky Steinbruner. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. I think this is an interesting project, and I think it's going to be a very dense project. So I'm wondering how much of the 8.71 acre feet a year will be for landscape. I hope, because it is a senior occupant group housing, that there will be community garden space. To that end, I would like to ask that the district plan to include recycled water for new projects like this. At least put in the plumbing and include that in your design requirements for down the road when there is recycled water for irrigation landscape. Thank you.
does anyone else, you said the applicant may be in the audience. Does the applicant want to say anything?
I think, not unless the board had any specific questions.
Okay. So we'll come back to the item. Are there any questions from the board?
Well, I'll ask it. Are there any intentions of regarding community gardens in the landscaping plan for this project? Or do we even have the plans going into that much detail at this point?
The landscape portion is included in the calculated water demand offset.
Mhm. Okay,
That's all I can say at this stage in the game.
all right.
Dr. Christensen, this is Shelley Flock, and
Uh-huh.
all new development projects are required to meet our landscape ordinance requirements. And so for a commercial project like this, they'll have to meet the full set of requirements that parallel the state's model water efficient landscape ordinance. So it's all efficient design, water-wise plant types, no planting on slopes and all of those things to prevent water waste.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
I have a question. When I see senior group housing, I'm not just quite sure exactly. I mean, I'm sure we need that kind of thing in the community. So I hate to see 8.7 acre feet be used, but I'm assuming this is a need for the area. But I'm not clear on what exactly it is. Is it a convalescent type of thing, or is it just housing, or?
I'll let Shelley answer that.
My understanding is that it's assisted living, so
Okay.
more on the medical side, probably, different categories of, medical assistance depending upon the needs. So this is actually the third applicant that has applied for this same development at this same site. The first applicant didn't go through with the project. The second one, they did start the process and they actually did about an acre-foot of retrofits out at Seascape Resort for their project. But then when COVID hit, they pulled the plug on it. So this is really the third person coming in and doing the same thing. So, you know, we got
Okay, that helps.
basically a acre-foot of offset out of it from an applicant that didn't proceed with the project. So that's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
so
Okay.
let's see, everybody's out of order. How dare you? My last meeting. Director Daniels, did you have anything to say?
Well, I just wanted to point out, that we've done studies before of how much recharge we get versus how much rainfall we get. And when we get about half of normal rainfall, which is 31 or 32 inches, and we get 0 recharge, and we were well below half this year, which means we didn't get any recharge. So every drop of water we use is all deficit. And so if this kind of thing continues, it'll be very tough, even with pure water going. And of course, it's kind of ironic that the person who wonders why we're keeping the site up the river is trying to basically stop our project. And but even with our project, it's going to be a tough going with climate change the way it is. So it's a little tough all the way around.
Agreed.
President Lather, we have an attendee with their hand raised.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's let that person speak.
Caller 415-489-9301. Your mic is available. You should be able to push *9 and speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, this is Steve Ring. We are the development group behind the assisted living project. And a question was asked, and I think Shelley answered it very well. And the question was what kind of housing it is. And that's exactly what it is. Assisted living and memory care is what we're designing there. And we really appreciate this opportunity. The question that was brought up, is this something that's badly needed? And the answer is absolutely. And in fact, it's one of the things that's really badly needed, more than most other uses in that neighborhood. So we really appreciate you considering our project here.
Okay, so we could go back. I think Director Jaffe, you needed to turn, right? Or were you done?
Just a few things. Actually,
Okay.
Shelley answered my question because I recalled that at one point there were going to be retrofits at Seascape for a project at this property, and so she explained that didn't go through. And then just a question on so there are credits in the it looks like a little bit less than 1 acre foot. So just that's credit for what was there before. Is that the way it's done?
Yes, that's correct.
Church.
Director Jaffe.
Okay.
Director Christensen, you got your hand up? Is it a new
I
one?
was going to turn it off.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
I recognize the project, and I think we discussed the importance of having a senior housing project. That was good use of that space, and so I didn't really have any questions for it. I was curious about the gardens because I hadn't heard about that one before. But so.
Well, the thing is vegetable gardens take up a lot of water.
Exactly, and also they need a lot of energy put into them too, like work energy. So,
Having recently gone to a number of senior living places to look at them for my mom. I can say that, I've seen ones with like raised beds with some like tomatoes and different things in there. They're kind of cool because you could just grab a cherry tomato as you're walking by,
Well, I'd like to make the motion, if there's no more comments, to approve the conditional will serve letter.
Second,
I'll second.
thank you. So Emma, can you please?
Yes. Director Daniels,
No,
Vice President LaHue,
Yes.
Director Jaffe,
Yes.
Director Christensen,
Yes.
and President Lather.
Yes. Now we can move on to item 7.3, review and appoint board members on various standing committees. Is that right?
7.2.
I missed one. I was skipping it. I like being president, okay? Sorry, annual elect. I guess on this one, we also, do we have a member of public who wants to speak on it?
We did not receive any requests on this item. However, attendees can raise their hands now.
Public members can raise their hands if they want to speak. Trust me, I'll make it quick. So if you don't raise your hand, you kind of snooze, you lose. But it looks like we have one person. So Emma, will you put her on?
Ms. Steinbruner, your mic is available.
Hello, this is Becky Steinbruner. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. I remember this time last year, and I really want to urge your board to elect Director Christensen to the vice presidency. I think that she would be a very capable vice president and would be a good president in the following year. It is important that we keep women in leadership roles throughout areas of local government. And so I hope that you will nominate and elect Carla Christensen as your vice president. Thank you.
Apparently I did this out of order. I must be losing it. So Ron, are you presenting?
You're doing a great job. I think you got it. I mean, it's to nominate and call for the VP for the board of directors, because the board VP current one moves into the presidency. So I think y'all have it. Thank you.
Correct. Okay, so Director Daniels, you're first on my list.
I nominate Carla.
I'll second the nomination.
Okay. So we have a nomination and we have a second. So can we do a roll call?
Wait. I had to say something, don't I?
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Your hand wasn't up.
Well, I thought you were going to go through your usual rotation. Sorry.
Oh, I jumped the gun. I'm sorry.
That's okay, because I was going to nominate Carla anyway. So there you go.
No, I was going to nominate her.
Yeah, I know. So,
Thank you very much.
so we just have to make sure Carla agrees and then we're good, right?
Oh, that's right.
You up for it, Carla?
I accept the nomination, and thank you very much for your opinions, your high opinion of me. And thank you, Becky, also. And looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to have a roll call for this.
Director Daniels,
Yes.
Vice President LaHue,
Yes.
Director Jaffe,
Yes.
Director Christensen,
Yes.
and President Lather.
Yes. So now we can
Great.
move on to the exciting item 7.3 that I couldn't wait for. And this is to review and appoint board members on various standing committees.
Yes, and Emma really put this together, but I'll speak to it. So I think what's important here is there's 3 standing committees. Definitely we need the board to vote on that. And if they wish, they can also address the other couple committees or associations that are on there. And I suppose, and Emma, help me out, I suppose they could even take the optional ones, that's motion 5 and 6, and say, when that's up, so-and-so may take that position. Is that correct?
Yes,
Because-
and the only thing I'll just add is the zone 5, the optional motions for zone 5 and the Aqua JPIA board. Those appointments can change at any point if the board desires.
So you could do it now, or say you're going to do it now, and then when it naturally expires, or set it now. So there's a couple options there. So anyway, I think it's and then going back, thank you, Becca. I think you're running that, showing who's currently on the committees is a great place to land. So it's who would you want? Who wants to be on the first committee, second, and third? I'll hand back
We
to
need
you.
to take
President Leader.
public comment on this.
Well, I want to, oh yeah, we have to have public comment first.
We received one request on this item.
Ms. Steinbrenner, your mic is available.
Hello, I think this was an error I made, but I will just say that appointments to these commissions is very important, especially the LAFCO and the Mid-County groundwater agencies. And I'm glad that the district has representation on all of these commissions. Thank you.
Okay, now we can go to looking at and discussion with the board members. Do we want to just start with my usual, Director Daniels?
I'm happy with the way it is. And by the way, LAFCO is not a district appointment. It happens to be members of our board have also run for LAFCO and gotten on. So it's not something we're going to vote on tonight.
Right. I just figured that.
Yeah, they're elected by the other agencies.
Director LaHue, Vice President LaHue.
I am fine with the way things are myself. But I'm happy if somebody else wants to do something I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy too. Director Jaffe.
The same.
Okay.
I'm doing a minor part here, but if somebody wants to be the alternate on Public Outreach Committee, I'd be willing to give it up, but I'm happy doing it.
Okay, great. And Director Christensen.
Yeah, I was going to push for the water resources, but I actually have just listened in a couple times, and that's actually pretty informative too. So I'm fine with whatever.
Oh, okay.
Just start out to do my part on these. I have still have ideas on public outreach. I guess that's a good fit for me, but I think everybody should rotate through that water resources at some point, just because it's the nuts and bolts of the district.
Okay. Am I still on? Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So if there's no changes, do we have a motion, or do we just?
I move we keep it the same.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. So we
So
need.
that's
a roll
motions 1 through 4.
call.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to see them. Motions
be
1
clear.
through 4, yeah. Is
Okay.
that correct?
Mhm.
Okay, so roll call, Director Daniels,
Yes.
Vice President LaHue,
Yes.
Director Jaffe,
Yes.
Director Christensen,
Yes.
and President Leader.
Yes.
Great. Thank you for pointing out about the LAFCO. We'll make that note and get it right next time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to 7.4, district staffing and reorganization. The presenter is Tracy Hart.
Good evening, President Lather, Vice President LaHue, and board members. This is Tracy Hart, Human Resources Manager. I presented a memo to the board this evening that you've had an opportunity to review in the packet in regards to some changes that we're recommending in the Operations and Maintenance Department. We've been doing a lot of study in the O&M department in the last couple of years and have made some changes. And this is a kind of a culmination of some of those changes. And so in summary tonight, what we're proposing is to create a new lead electrical instrumentation technician. That's a classification that has been a split position in the last number of years. And we recognize that with the complexity of our water system as it stands and going into increasing our facility and our infrastructure, this really is a critical position in our organization, and we're seeking to create that lead electrical instrumentation technician position. We would recommend to the board be included in the board memo the proposed salary schedule that would align with data collected for that position for lead electrical instrumentation technician. As part of the motion, we would also like to approve the revised job description, which is an existing job description of water systems operator instrumentation technician. That position has not been revised since 2014 and certainly is warranted to update that particular job description and eliminate a vacant electrical technician classification that's been in our staffing plan for 10 plus years that has been vacant. The necessity of skill level really is more at the instrumentation technician position. So trying to keep our staffing pattern and plan current and effective to what we have currently and what's coming down the road is really a part of this process. So I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have in regards to these proposals, and I'm opening up for questions if anyone has any.
Does that mean we have public comment?
Yes, we do, President Lee.
Thank you.
Ms. Steinbruner, your mic is available.
Hello, this is Becky Steinbruner. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. When I first read this, I thought it must be in response to the problem that happened when the main ruptured and the true level of the fairway tank was not determined, was determined improperly to be higher than it really was just by looking at the computer data. And so I wonder, is this new job in response to recognition that someone needs to be checking and verifying the accuracy of that information on all of the district's tanks and service areas? I'm interested in this because this is one concern that I do have about the Pure Water Soquel project, is that the instrumentation may give false readings, may not give proper alerts in a timely manner. So I want to know if this new position would also be in charge of verifying the accuracy of the Pure Water Soquel project elements. I see the in the salary, again, this was in the consent item 4.7. I see the water system operator instrumentation technician.
30 seconds.
And is this the current salary level that would be applied to this new position? Thank you.
Sorry, I muted myself.
Is there anything that the board would like me to address from the questions?
Is there anything?
I have no questions.
Fine. Okay. So do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion
Uh,
to approve the personnel actions listed,
I'll
A,
second.
B, A through D.
And you
Ron
had a
had
second,
something?
Bruce?
That is correct.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Emma, will you please conduct the roll call?
Director Daniels,
Yes.
Vice President LaHue,
Yes.
Director Jaffe,
Yes.
Director Christensen,
Yes.
and
Yes.
President Lather.
Yes. Okay,
I'd like to take this time
And-
to thank President Lather for the great service she's given us this last year, running this crazy place that we've got. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes. Me too.
oh my gosh, it has been a crazy year.
Well, thank you, Dr. Daniels, for leading into that, because we also would love to recognize President Lather for her leadership over the last year as president. And I believe that there was a package that was delivered, President Lather, and we would love
Yes,
for you.
and I did not sneak a peek.
You didn't ruin the surprise. So on behalf of the staff of the Soquel Creek Water District, we really do want to honor and thank you for your leadership, and would love for you to open the gift and share it with the group in
Gonna make me
recognition
laugh.
of.
I think it'll help you close the meeting.
Okay.
tonight.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh, I'm so happy.
What
Oh
is
my
it?
goodness, I knew exactly what it was. Is it my very own one, or do I have to give it back?
It's your very own one.
Unless you can find another person with the name Rochelle Lather on it. Then
Not that
Oh, that is
common.
so great.
Oh,
Rochelle Lather.
You froze up, President Lather. Maybe
Oh,
you can
shoot.
repeat that.
I'll repeat it. Rochelle Lather, first female board president, Soquel Creek Water District. Oh, thank you. That is so thoughtful. And that's so funny, because I know I said my big disappointment was I didn't get to hit a gavel because it wasn't in person.
and there you go.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I've had, at first I was really nervous because it being on Zoom and all the issues I had with electronics and the Mickey Mouse voice and various different things. But I've really enjoyed this year, and I look forward to maybe someday in the future being president again.
Mhm. If you were vice president at the end of next year, then we can have the all-female team.
I think that would be great. Okay, so at this point, unless anybody had anything else to say, I will adjourn the meeting.
Perfect.
Right, bye, everyone.
thank you.
I go crazy.